Up Wednesday practice, wrapped it up with a 2-minute drill, as competitive as ever. Hats off to the defense, they got after today in 2 minutes. But overall, after coming off a bye week where the focus was all the things you want to do in terms of improving on fundamentals, techniques, enhancing your schemes as much as you can, developing 3 to 4 players on each side of the ball, improving your special teams. Felt like there was a really nice carryover. I think the players have done a great job just being focused on what we need to do, and that's you want to know every single day. And it's led to a great week so far. So guys are healthy. Cyrus was good. Dallas Warmack was good. I might have answered all your questions already with the opening statement. So with that being said, I'll open the questions.
Coach, with the wins coming more and more, the fans are getting more and more excited. Would you say the team is getting more and more excited, or have they been maintaining the same level of excitement all year long? How's that?
I think last year, the lesson that we learned, like we felt our consequences. Like we got off to a good start, and then that was like a punch right between the eyes, and that was a really painful experience for our guys. And a lot of these guys were also here when there was a 4-8 season, so they have felt those moments that, you never want to feel them again. So as this thing goes on, and we get it, we acknowledge the noise and all the hype surrounding the program and the season. The best thing that I felt was yesterday and sitting with the leadership council is it's almost like if you had scripted it for them. It's like, Coach, we acknowledge that things are going well, but we still haven't played our best football, and we need to be completely focused on being 1-0 today and tomorrow and whatnot. So just really impressed with their approach to everything we do on a daily basis, because I think our team realizes that our secret sauce is staying on task, being focused. Nothing but our very best is good enough. So it's been good.
Is there a moment where you saw that click of avoiding looking ahead and being focused on just that week? Is there a moment previously where you saw that just, hey, this is working now?
I think your entire life in sports, I think people preach it. I don't know how many actually actively just pursue that goal on a daily basis. I think the leadership on this football team, there's ownership now. True, like yesterday, you never have arrived, but when I listen to our guys talk, and then the way they conduct themselves and attack practice, like watching us practice today, it's like, okay, it's November. If we continue to do that, we will continue to improve. And for our goals, we have to improve. We cannot, attain and accomplish our goals without improvement. So that it's a positive feeling. It's one that drives you more, makes you hungrier, and that's what works for us. We really don't know any other way. We don't care to know any other way. You can't skip those steps. So we're pretty fired up to get back in Autzen Stadium this weekend.
I asked Andy Avalos about Troy Dye's lasting legacy that he's been leaving this season, and he said he feels like he's turned it up even more so since his injury. Would you agree with that? Have you seen that?
Without a doubt. You saw that's a significant injury that a lot of people would probably just kind of wait and be fully healed and then go and play. And what he has done, it's when those guys talk, guys like Troy, guys like, when they speak, those are strong and powerful, impactful words. And this means a lot to him now. It really does. It shows in the way he approaches practice, the way he approaches everything he does related to the program. So, yeah, I can't say enough great things about him. I think he's as good as it gets in the country as well. And he's another guy that I think, all these guys played as true freshmen. So I think all these guys, their best football is still ahead of them. So we're looking forward to getting to those guys continuing to push and guide and lead our team with an edge necessary to have success on Saturdays.
For someone who decided to come back for his senior season, what's it like to watch him sort of live his best life this season?
I'm jealous. I want to go back to college and do it like those guys are doing it. They're made of the right stuff. They were raised the right way, and because of that, they're able to just bring those principles and values to our organization and help enhance that locker room more and more.
Coach, when you spent time back in Tuscaloosa and in Athens in the spring, what do you think you brought back with you that has helped this football team this year?
Well, our offseason blueprint is, I wouldn't say identical, but it's pretty close. We, the fourth quarter program, the strength and conditioning program, the rep count for the practice regimen. It's pretty precise, like down to the rep. We two-spot everything, so our fourth team guy is getting the same reps as the first team guy. And I think just as importantly is having our staff there, letting them get a snapshot of okay, we've seen us practice. Let's watch these other teams practice, of which we have a similar blueprint like, and so they can kind of see where we are. What do they think we are? And so we benefit a lot from that, because sometimes you think you're way behind, and then you see something like, wait a second, maybe we're there or closer to getting there. So learning experience for everybody. You always exchange information, not too much in case you end up playing each other right down the road. But overall, even though those are acquaintances that I've known for a while, when you get to sit and talk football and just learn from each other, it's a tremendous benefit, and it's something that we have done the past couple seasons and we will continue to do every single season.
What is it about that blueprint and the way they play ball that you wanted to bring to Oregon?
I think the off-season. The development part that relates to the fourth quarter program, and then the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage, physicality, playing with an edge in the trenches, developing guys on both sides, on the offense and defensive lines. At this time of year, November, it's the weather's not always going to be perfect, and those factors and the way that those guys play up front and having the right kind of depth up front and playing with the right physicality up front can really alter the course of a game. And I know any position can, but just strong belief in that.
How do you think your team's physicality and toughness is a reflection of who you are?
Oh, I'm never going to stand up here and like pound the chest and say me. I'm not. I couldn't play on this team. These guys are way better than I was, but it's a reflection of what we strive to be, and it's a reflection of their commitment, their will to go the extra mile, because what we ask them to do is very demanding. We don't coach in fear of the transfer portal around here, so that we're clear. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's doing the right thing by our football players. I just think it's a reflection of the direction of our program.
Talking about your playing career, what was '95 in Amsterdam like for you? It was the first year of that team.
Oh, you got to bring that up.
I'm just curious. I was looking at it. You guys had a good team that year.
It's pretty awesome. I got cut by the Broncos. No excuses. A lot of guys, like that cheesy commercial. Oh, my knee. No, it's not like that. Tremendous opportunity, didn't work out, and then, you get drafted to go play in NFL Europe's World League, right? And think about it. Those are all the guys that were either that year's final cuts or second cuts, or guys that have played in the league a long time. Will the Refrigerator Perry was there, all that stuff. And so you're out in Europe, and you do not want to go back to 9 to 5. You want to make it, in the NFL. And the football level was excellent. Coach Luganville was our coach, and he was outstanding. The players, our kicker was Adam Vinatieri. Our punter was Darren Bennett. Okay, I believe at least 3 of our linemen came back, made it in the NFL. I know the quarterback did. A couple though. We had a lot of guys come back, and so it was an unbelievable experience. And then, we also were able to see the world and experience some things. Go in the Rijksmuseum and take in, the Night Watch, the Rembrandt's Night Watch. When would I have ever done that unless our quarterback forced us to go down there? You know what I mean? So overall, great experience, and really just tremendous relationships for him.
How were you guys received out there? Just from fan base? And
in Germany it was strong. Like if you go to a game against the Frankfurt Galaxy and the Rhine Fire, you're going to have a packed house. In Amsterdam, it was new. They were starting to just kind of learn about football. So tremendous experience. I wouldn't trade that for anything. It was great.
It had to be quite the contrast from your college playing career was kind of the center of the college universe to that was the first year of that team.
The outskirts of the world. Yeah, it was. It certainly was, and it was the first time I got on I guess it would count as a red eye, right? And we left at about 10 o'clock from New York and landed at 6 a.m. in Amsterdam, and no, don't get me wrong, the organization and the way it was run was first class, and it was really a great developmental league, and that's what the NFL was trying to do, right? Try to capture maybe 1% of the soccer market, but at the same time develop players and come back. And man, it's the stories and the experiences were off the charts.
Mario, you
Fun
guys
time ago, man. It's 95. I can't believe you brought that up. Man.
You guys you're leading the league. You're leading the nation in interceptions by a good margin. and your defense has been winning games. What is it about your defense that makes you happiest at this point? What kind of impact are they having?
Yeah, well, it starts with the players. I mean, we made a change for the betterment of the organization, and went to a system that really has a chance to maximize our skill sets. And I mean, it starts first with the players, guys like Troy, guys like Javon, guys up front, Jordan, all those guys just took in to Coach Avalos's scheme, and then having Coach Hayward, Coach Salavea, Coach Dante Williams, and Coach Wilson. Those guys are really, really high-level coaches, high levels of expertise, and they do it collectively. They're very detailed. They're very demanding. You guys have watched practice. I mean, every little thing. There are no little things, right? Everything is a big thing, and they're just meticulous, and they're driven, and they're playing with a lot of passion. So that's the part we like best. We're being more physical. We're getting to the ball quickly and with some intentions to force it out, and we're improving.
You mentioned that this is your 5th night game, and you're not going to worry about who chooses time and place. But is there more benefit for a program when you play a night game? Is it more preparation or more time to do recruiting? Is there a positive for you as a staffer?
Well, I think it's unfair to our fans. That's the one thing, we really would like to help our fans and not have that many, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that got it. We have a large contingent, obviously, from Portland. That's a tough day for them. I mean, for us, for our players, it's, roll the ball in the parking lot, we'll play ball. As it relates to the workday itself, the calendar and the minutes, they are what they are, and you either got to get them in before or after the game, or early in the morning, or way into the night. So you got to move it around some, but yeah, it definitely doesn't eliminate any minutes, that's for sure.
Does it allow you to maybe bring in official visitors who have to travel farther out, more time to get here in time for the game?
That is correct, no doubt about it. If they have a Friday game and we play on Saturday, yes, it'll give you an opportunity to get him here and have them, settle down a little bit before. And we do. We have a lot of official visits during the season.
You preach as much about physicality. How have you seen the Arizona defensive line change from a year ago? Because obviously P.J. Johnson's not there, and he about killed C.J. on a play last year. How have you seen that unit change, and even your own O-line change? Because Shane talked about how that was a horrible game for your O-line.
It was a very tough game. I take full responsibility. We weren't as prepared as we need to be. We weren't mentally ready. We went out there and we didn't play well. And when I say that, I'm also going to say Arizona played well. I do not like taking away credit from the other football team. That is disrespectful. So I want to say that, they are a physical front, and they're athletic, and they rotate a lot of guys through. And it's hard to tell what they're going to do, because they made a change, right, about a week and a half ago, and they jumped into the odd front, the bear front, the odd tight front, four down pressure, cross blitzes, nickel fire. So it's been a mixed bag, and a lot of it has worked, and they've had some great moments. So you've got to prepare for everything, and as the game gets rolling, see what they want to settle in to give yourself the best chance.
Sound like a strange question, but you're putting Rob in the worst position he could ask to be in, because quite literally he's already facing questions, and Bill Hancock had to come out and say that they're talking about what they might do in the weeks ahead, because he can't answer currently about you or Alabama or Georgia, and you know full well that those fan bases aren't too thrilled about ambiguity with that. How do you feel about the position you're putting your athletic director in at the moment, which is, again, the worst position to be in? But
yeah, I just think questions like that, look, I wish I was a little more to answer those questions. I wish I was a little bit more unfocused on so I could give you a better answer. I'm sorry, brother, it's going to come out the same. It's just not part of the day. It's not part of the mindset or the train of thought. It can't be. If it ever started becoming that, I'd have to stop it from becoming part of that. We are 1-0, and I don't mean the game. I mean our meeting tonight. I mean tomorrow's walkthrough. I mean every part of what we do. But we really, really, really do, and we take a deep dive into that, so we're staying that course.
Back to last year's game, Shane said yesterday that something kind of felt off before the game started. Can you point to maybe what that was and maybe things were off?
I think you point to the whole thing, and when I say that, I point to myself. There's no way to rationalize that. I think if you start trying to rationalize, well, why did we play so poorly? Why did we get beat so badly? I think you're just looking for reasons of your own failure. We failed over there, and in a bad way. And we know we're a better football team than that. And that game has nothing to do with this game. This is a completely different game with a completely different set of, a different mindset. So that's what we've been focused on. Tremendous amount of respect for them. They have a lot of explosive athletes, because any team that could jump in a man coverage and pressure like they did against us last year and have that kind of success, we know they have really good athletes.
Bryson told us that the difference between this team and the one a few years ago is discipline and guys playing for each other rather than going their separate ways and playing for themselves. How have you and your staff made that happen?
I think the best thing we've done here is we spend an extraordinary amount of time around each other in the off season, like a lot. And our families are involved as well. So whether we're paintballing, whether we are over top golfing, taking in a Portland Trailblazer game, a Timbers game, a day out there on the dunes, dune buggy riding, which we will never do again because I was scared to death. But as simple as a barbecue and beach day over at the local pool, look, if you really want to care about the people you work with, number one, obviously you got to work really hard, but you better take a deep dive into them as people, because if you don't, you're never going to get to know them. They're not going to get to know you. That's been at the forefront of our efforts, and in a real way, not in a nonsense kind of way, not in a hocus pocus, in a real deal way. And that makes your team very difficult, because playing with each other as opposed to playing for each other there's a monumental difference between the two.